It hurts. Now he gets drilled. Into the goal.
The Trenton Golden Hawks are buckling.
We're not taking anything for granted. We're going to work our way through and try to win this thing.
We don't want to have to take a back seat and kind of get into the Dudley the easy way.
We want to earn our right to be there, and that's our full intention.
The only thing you can really control on the ice is your work ethic and your compete level.
You don't really have the chance to win a championship a lot in your life. We have a huge chance this year, so. We've been building towards this for the last 3 years, and we feel we have a really great group this year. That we look forward to those games against the higher end teams because it shows us where we are, and we feel we're right up there.
Yes, the OJ's version of the Final Four has arrived. Hey everybody, welcome to the OJ Today. We'll have all the highlights from the conference finals thus far to show you this week. And also, OJHL Images has become a huge part in the promotion of the league over the last few years. The work they put out is absolutely stunning. And today we'll have the Director of Photography, Tim Bates, in the studio finally, after a couple of years here, to tell us more about it and show us some of the best pictures they've captured over the last couple of seasons. And that's coming up later on. But first, let's check out the Bar Down game highlights. And the Northeast Conference Final kicked off last week, and it featured two teams that were expected to be there. Defending champion Trenton, who will be hosting the Dudley Hewitt Cup this spring, and Coberg, who will be home base for the National Championship Royal Bank Cup. These two squads both loaded up for the postseason this year, and they kicked things off last Friday night in Trenton. OJ highlights now, brought to you by Bar Down, official clothing supplier to the OJHL. A packed house at Duncan Memorial for the season opener. A good contingent of Coberg fans making the trip down the 401 for the first game, but it was the home squad that would strike first. Midway through the opening period, Lucas Brown out front bangs it past Stefano Durante. And it's a funny one too. Take another look here. It goes up, over, and in. Tough luck for Durante, and it's 1-0 for the G-Hawks. It stayed that way into the second, where they'd add to the lead. Liam Morgan working hard in the corner, gets it back to Brandon Marshall, and the point shot finds daylight. And Trenton has a 2-goal cushion there, up by a deuce. 3 minutes later, though, the visitors would respond. Matt Carroll gets way too many cracks at it here. Only so much that Chris Jansen can do. In it goes, and the Cougars cut the lead in half to 2-1. Soon after that, though, Trenton hits again. It's Lucas Brown out front, channeling Joey Bats, smacking it out of midair. Great hand-eye coordination, and once again, it's a 2-goal bulge. Just 2 minutes after that, though, Brendan Locke snipes it home through traffic, and the Cougars were back within one, and they would knot it up in the third frame. Spencer Roberts with the quick shot that catches Jansen napping, and Coberg completes the comeback. It's all knotted up at 3, but with 7 minutes left, Mac Lewis charges the net. Durante makes the stop. Nobody clears out Max Ewart, and that would prove to be the game winner. Now, a bizarre occurrence at the end of the game. Chris Jansen batted the puck into the crowd, and that earned the Trenton keeper a 2-game suspension. So although they were up 1-0, Trenton would be without their star goalie for games 2 and 3. Well, the Southwest Final features two squads who were also expected by many to be in that very spot. First seeded Georgetown taking on second seed Oakville in the Battle of Halton region. Now, two teams that share a rivalry that goes back decades and at times can be downright bitter. This series has been no exception thus far. Game 1 kicked off last week from Alcott Arena. Oakville looked fantastic in winning their series against Burlington, but the Raiders get off to a dream start. McGlynn makes the original save. Nobody watches Jonathan Hampton. What a start. 1-0, 35 seconds in. Second frame, they add to it. Sloppy play by Daniel Jellick as he coughs it up to Jordan Anderson, who feeds Hampton his second of the contest. 2-0 G-Town. The Blades hit back though. Watch this. Ryan Shaw flips it over the net to Garrett Pike. Unreal. Gorgeous goal, but the bad blood was brewing. There was a lot of this in the game as the two squads went toe-to-toe. 5 minutes later, Ryan Foss with a knuckler that Josh Astorino can't handle, and the Blades even things up. It's 2-2. Back and forth they went. Jordan Crocker gets smoked by Bailey Newton, but still gets it to Josh Dickinson, and G-Town regains the advantage. It's 3-2. Just a minute 2 into the third, the Blades equalize though. Bryce Misley with the heads-up pass to Jackson Bales, and Captain Bales makes it 3-3, but the Raiders respond. Just 47 seconds later, it's Hampton getting the Hattie as he bangs it home past McGlynn. 4-3 for Georgetown. Midway through the frame, McGlynn gives up a juicy rebound for Big Mac, Matt McJanet, who hammers it home, and that proved to be the game winner for Georgetown. The Blades would add one more, but the Raiders hold on to grab the Game 1 victory. Hampton with the hat trick for the home squad, as he now has 7 goals in 13 games, third on the squad for the postseason. Welcome back to the OJ today. Game 2 was on tap for Georgetown and Oakville last Saturday, and after hanging on by a thread to win the opener, the Raiders were threatening to make a mockery of this one, jumping out to a big early lead. But you can never count those Blades out, even for a second, as they mounted a furious comeback down the stretch. And the question was, would it be a case of too little, too late? Jonathan Hampton was huge in Game 1 with a hat trick, and he kept his strong play going in this one. Another early goal for the Raiders. Hampton passed Brendan McGlynn to get them on the board, just 3:56 in, and the Raiders were relentless in the first. McGlynn can't handle the shot here. Jordan Crocker takes full advantage as Mighty Mouse makes it 2-0 for the home squad. Second frame, they continue the charge. It's Crocker converting once again, the feed from Josh Dickinson this time. Crocker's second of the contest, and the big crowd at Alcott Arena was loving it so far. And I'll tell you that Jacome Dickinson-Crocker line, lethal all season long. And then some rough stuff. Bryce Misley denied by Astorino. Misley continues to charge in, barrels over the keeper, and Misley got 2 minutes for that transgression. On the ensuing power play, it was Mr. Crocker yet again, putting home the Jacome pass, and yup, cue the hats, 3 for Crocker, as the Raiders were fully in control, up 4-0 at that point. But hold on, the Blades wouldn't go quietly. Ryan Foss, the sweet backhand pass for Jackson Bales. Oakville on the board, down 4-1. Third period was all Blades, but would it be enough? 5:16 in, Sal Felice from the point beats the screen Josh Astorino, and the Blades had life. It was 4-2. Then a scary moment. Andrew Court on the rush falls into McGlynn, who took it right on the head. Brendan was down for some time, but after a few anxious minutes, got up and continued. He's a trooper. Now keep your eye on Josh Dickinson here. He trips Warad from behind, no call. Seconds later at the other end, Warad, like a bull seeing red, staples Jacome to the boards, drawing a charging penalty. Blades coach Mike Tarantino, not a happy man, wondering why the heck they didn't call Dickinson first. The Raiders held on for the 4-3 win and a 2-0 series lead behind Crocker's hat trick, though. After the game, Raiders assistant coach Jesse Chadwick talked about Crocker's fantastic play on the night.
You know what, he's a great kid. You know, he's like a sponge. Anything that the coaches say, he's taking it in. So kid like that, you know, you give him an opportunity to score, he's going to capitalize and definitely make some teams pay. They've got a pretty deep lineup, so for us to go up 4-0, we got to keep our foot on the gas pedal. Otherwise, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and they're going to make a game of it.
So after winning Game 1 by the slimmest of margins last Friday, the Trenton Golden Hawks were looking to duplicate the feat in Game 2, and the scene switched to Coberg Community Center, which was like a fortress for the Cougars in the regular season, where they lost just 5 times the whole year. Over 1,100 strong were there to rock the house on Monday for what turned out to be a postseason classic. Over 1,100 strong on hand in Coberg to take in Game 2, and they were loving things early on. Midway through the first, Matt Carroll out front pounds it past Elliot Girth in for the suspended Chris Jansen between the pipes, 1-zip Cougars. But Trenton came out on fire in the second. Josh Allen keeps, pulls the trigger, and it goes. And the G-Hawks even things up. It's a 1-1 hockey game. 9 minutes later, Liam Morgan left unattended at the side of the net. Bad move. Number 8 bangs it past Stefano Durante, and the Golden Hawks were up 2-1. And yeah, strike up the band. Hawks fans in attendance were loving it. And the Hawks were getting physical. Max Ewart, possibly the hit of the year, right there. And then watch as the play continues, and Ben Shield nails a Cougars player right through the open door. No love lost between these two squads, but Coberg would bounce back in the third. Minerva gets his revenge on the score sheet as he tips home the point shot, and it was even Steven all tied up at 2 apiece. And then the Cougs think they've taken the lead here as Brendan Locke tips it home out of midair, and they celebrate, but hold on. The officials call it a high stick. Let's take another look. And so close. Either way, still tied. Which meant overtime, where Elliot Girth was lights out. Look at the save on Ryan Castleman here at the side of the net. OJHL Images photographer Tim Bates nailed this picture as Girth saves his team's bacon. And then moments later, and Josh Allen playing the role of hero for the G-Hawks with the overtime winner. 3-2 your final as Trenton walks into Coberg and steals Game 2 and headed back home with a comfortable 2-0 series lead. Okay, Georgetown and Oakville for Game 3. Apologies for what you were about to see. Filming for the first time with a new camera, wrong settings, which is why it looks like the guys are skating on the lunar surface. My bad. Drew Orad makes it 1-0 Blades early on. Late in the frame, Astorino can't handle the shot. Matt Hyami pokes home the second chance, 2-zip Oakville. Second period, all Georgetown, no. Just a minute 9 in, Jacome to Crocker. What a shocker, as Jordan cuts the deficit in half to 2-1. And then late in the period, Andrew Court with the sublime solo effort here. He gets stopped, but the big blast, Keegan Blasby knocks it home to tie it up. The teams trade goals in the third, which meant overtime.
Orad the shot, putting short side. Jelic to the net. Rebound to Mills, and they score! Jackson Mills! And the Oakville Blades win it in overtime!
A great call, Jamie Neugebauer. The Blades needed that win in the worst way as they pick up their first win. Afterwards, Oakville hero Jackson Bales talked about his game-winning and possibly series-saving goal.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to get pucks on net all game, and Gel did a great job of just getting it through and hitting the pillows, and it was a bit of a misassignment on their part, and I ended up being alone in front, and I was able to bang it in, and goalie couldn't get over in time. So we've been trying to do that all game, and it's nice that it finally paid off.
Welcome back to the OJ today. So the question is, what more could Coberg do? They outshoot Trenton on the road in Game 1, but still come up short by a goal. And they repeat the feat in Game 2 at home with the G-Hawks' #1 goalie out due to suspension, no less, and go down in heartbreaking fashion in overtime. Now the Cougars had to believe their luck would turn at some point. Well, down 2-0 in the series, it had to in Game 3. Or else they risked going into a massive hole. And the Cougars came out on fire, and they really had no other choice. On the PP, 751 in, Daniel McKittrick with a shot from a bad angle. It trickles past Elliot Girth, and that was exactly the start they wanted. They lead 1-0. 10 minutes later, they add another. On the power play, yet again, Spencer Roberts centers, Jake Bricknell finishes, and Coberg out to a 2-0 lead at that point. Trenton chips away at it in the second though. Jeremy Pilara to Luis Di Matteo, and the lead is cut in half to 2-1, and that is Di Matteo's first of the postseason to this point. And in the third, they even it up. Durante has trouble with it behind the net. Trenton, always so opportunistic, and yeah, they burn him. Bryce Martin moving in from the point, jumps all over it, and you could just feel the momentum swing as they were all tied up at that point, which meant, once again, a heart-stopping few minutes of overtime.
Is down there as well, coming back out. Up top, Allen off the point. Allen puts it to the net. They score. It's Silveri with the game winner, and the Hawks have a 3-0 lead in the Northeast Conference Final.
Now, thanks to Cogeco Television for the great feed. Heartbreaking stuff for Coberg, who left it all on the table, but again come out on the losing end as Trenton takes a commanding 3-0 series lead. So the friendly confines of 16 Mile Arena proved to be exactly what the Oakville Blades needed in Game 3. Team captain Jackson Bales played the role of hero as the squad bounced back to cut the deficit against Georgetown to 2-1. After the heartbreaking OT loss, the Raiders had 24 hours to regroup, re-energize, and refocus as the two teams squared off in Game 4 Tuesday night back in Oakville. As they did in Game 3, the Blades jump on the Raiders early. Bryce Misley, so hot right now, jams it past Nick Latinovic to make it 1-0 Oakville, just 2:07 into the first, but the Raiders would nab 2 in the period. Jack Jacome sets the screen here. Griffin James takes full advantage as he floats it in from the point past McGlynn. And the big man with his first of the playoffs, and it was a 1-1 tie. Now, G-Town doing a good job of getting bodies in front of the net on this day. Keegan Blasby victimizes McGlynn, this time with the sweet wrister, and the big Blas with his 7th of the playoffs, and it was 2-1 Raiders. Second period, all Georgetown, as the Raiders power play was clicking on Tuesday. Jake Payette to Austin Cho off the stick of Blasby and in for his second. And Georgetown adds to its lead 3-1 at that point. Nobody touched this one though. 13 seconds before intermission, Cho finds daylight behind McGlynn, and yeah, 4-1 Raiders heading into the dressing room. But no lead is ever safe against the Blades, as we've learned. Third frame, 3:15 in, Nicholas Turenko puts it past the screened Latinovic, and Oakville still had a pulse, down 4-2, and then just a minute and a half later, the puck pinballs around out front here, and future Clarkson Golden Knight Drew Warad ensures the finish to this game would be a nail-biter. 4-3 with plenty of time left in the third, but late in the frame, Andrew Court out front, completely unmarked here, puts it past McGlynn to give the Raiders some breathing room, and it was 5-3 at that point. That's actually how the score would finish up. A very unfortunate end to the game, though. Jackson Bales of Oakville throws a big check on Jordan Crocker right here. Crocker's head hits the glass. He was down. Bales given a 5 plus a misconduct, so he'll miss Game 5. As for Crocker, he didn't know where he was, and I had to go to the hospital after the game to get checked out. Word is he's doing fine, but he will miss some time. So a 5-3 Raiders win to take a commanding 3-1 series lead. They were a bit subdued after, though, obviously concerned for their teammate. Andrew Court talked about the team's play and the big win on the Knights.
I mean, I thought we played really well. We struggled definitely picking up, third, fourth guys off the rush. Their team's really offensively good off the rush. Once we adapted to that, we stopped their rush goals. So, I think that's how we won the game today. We got them down 3-1, so hopefully we end the series on Thursday.
Okay, since Tim Bates is coming in for the last segment, an early top 5 brought to you by Jostens, official championship ring provider to the OJHL. Number 5, Raiders Blades in Game 3. Great puck movement. Jack Jacome to Jordan Crocker. Beauty. That combo has clicked all season long for the Raiders. Number 4, the candidate for hit of the year, Trenton's Max Ewart on Coberg's Nick Minerva. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of lowering the boom. Number 3, Elliot Girth on Ryan Castleman in overtime. The game saver for Trenton. as he just gets a toe on it. And of course, the Hawks ended up taking game 2 in OT. Game 3 in overtime between these two as well. Josh Allen with the no-look backhand pass to Michael Silveri for the OT winner. And this is worth a second look. Absolutely gorgeous here as Trenton goes up 3-zip in the series in number 1. File this under the headline cheeky. Oakville's Ryan Shaw flips it over the net to Garrett Pike, who bats it home. Yes, that just happened. One of the goals of the year, and that is our OJ play of the week. And a quick look at the scoring leaders before we go to break. Jacome takes over the scoring lead with 19 points. Morgan and Dickinson in a tie for third now with 17 points apiece. Ryan Foss of Oakville in fifth. And Brown and Cameron Wright of St. Mike's tied in sixth with 15 points each. Welcome back to the OJ today. As promised, finally, after months and months, actually probably about a year of trying, I've got the very busy man, Tim Bates, the director of photography for OJHL Images, on the show. Thank you for making it in, buddy, after all this time. And,
thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, OJHL Images is absolutely essential to the league. It's gotten a lot of attention all over North America by the quality of the footage. Let's talk about OJ Images first of all, and what it is, and how about, and when it came about in the first place.
We in 2012 we kind of recognized the fragmented photography efforts of the league. There was a lot of images that were posted on the website, and some of the quality was questionable. So what we wanted to do is, I sat down with a group of very dedicated people and professional photographers, and we looked at kind of the infrastructure of Getty Images, who are the model, and the National Hockey League, and a number of our shooters are working in the NHL, and we sat down and we come up with a concept. And we pitched it to the league, and we developed the OJHL Images concept. We ran a kind of experimental phase back in 2012 in the playoffs, and then we built the infrastructure and become what is now today as OJHL Images, which is a kind of a multifaceted approach to photography of sports action imagery in the OJHL.
Yeah, OJHLimages.photoshelter.com, by the way. All the images that we're showing, I'm going to put up the courtesy one time because I don't have time to put it up. Every picture you're seeing on the show is courtesy OJHL Images, but that's the website. And of course, if people want to buy pictures from some of the fantastic images you see through that, they can do that through the site as well, couldn't they?
They can, absolutely.
Yeah. And media outlets all over the world are picking up on these pictures, aren't they? Including actually one we're going to show later on regarding the Russian goalie, but this is something that's become worldwide, isn't it?
It has. The part of what makes OJHL Images different from standard photography is the fact that we have an infrastructure base that supports the photography. So our photographers, not only what they do is they attend games, we provide them the training that's required to work in any kind of a press environment whatsoever worldwide. The National Hockey League, World Juniors, we had a number of our photographers work at the World Juniors, and they said, geez, how did these guys learn how to do this? All the images from OJHL Images, first of all, are captioned, so that lists exactly what you would read in a newspaper or magazine article. It lists all what's going on in the photograph, it captions it. And our media outlets have access to our FTP server, which is a technical name for them to be able to obtain the image at real high quality, very fast, and they can download these images. And we have over 410 mainstream media outlets across the world that download images consistently on a weekly basis that promote the league and the players.
It's amazing stuff. We're going to take a look now at some of Tim's favorite photographs over the last couple of seasons, I guess. We'll be putting it up on the screen. We'll be watching it here on the laptop, though. The first one is this, I suppose the caption would be a funny one, wouldn't it? That's the money man, Jake Payette, taking the puck in a very difficult spot, and I think Josh Dickinson's reaction right next to him says everything there. That was last weekend at Georgetown against Oakville, right?
It was, and we always say it's about the eyes and the players, and you can certainly see Dickinson's response, and Payette's about to get hit with a puck in a rather sensitive area, that's for sure. So it does caption a lot, and that situation, the picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, and good shot there of the Raiders Canadian series, pinioling out, looks like Takamatsu there.
Exactly.
Along the boards. And what else we got here? Let's see. Paolini, fantastic young defenseman for St. Mike's. But look at the how crisp it is, and of course, the background has been muted, and it's amazing. I'm just imagining the types of lenses you guys are using, and of course, how much they cost. As a videographer myself, to get some of the shots you do.
It's certainly an expensive sport, that's for sure, for us as well. And we try to isolate the players in a game action footage as well as an ISO shot, which is your standard hockey card shot. And that's what you're seeing here. We're looking at nose-to-toes clarity. And again, we want to capture the emotions. Here's a great shot of the team captain for the Canadians after a goal, scoring that and celebrating. And we're looking for that emotions on the face, and it says it all.
Yeah, no, fantastic stuff. And I love this shot. I love this shot, and I think, is that Cavalieri?
It is.
I believe from Burlington, but what a great profile shot there as he's about to come on the ice. For Burlington, obviously a very disappointing exit for them in the playoffs against Oakville. They were expecting a little bit more, but Cavalieri was absolutely outstanding. Let's take another look here. Oh, that's a great shot.
Yeah,
and you had a story about the guy who took this picture. He's from Ryerson.
Yeah. Ryerson University. We part of our kind of infrastructure with OJHL Images is to work with students, and Alex Dedesi come on OJHL Images and has been training with us, and he's aspired to a great level where he is now with Ryerson's chief photographer, and he's shot in the NBA. He's worked Major Canada events. Hockey Canada has had him deployed, and he's doing extremely well, and it's a testament to our work with him. So we're really pleased.
Yeah, and there's the net cam shot. You mentioned you haven't used it quite as much this year, but what a tremendous shot that is as well.
That's a great shot.
It's a great shot, yeah. The rink in Coberg, which of course is going to be hosting the Royal Bank Cup this year. Drop a few names there, because these are the people that come out to every game, work behind the scenes. You'll see them with their little OJHL Images lanyard, but they're the people that make this happen for every game. Give us a few names of the people that are out there. We got a minute.
Really quickly, Sean Muir's our chief photo editor, who looks at all the images before they come up to me. We got Andy Corner, was one of our senior photographers. Alex Dedesi is one of our top student photographers working. Brian Watts has been around for a number of years. We have Tim Ludwig, who works in USA Today, the National Football League, the NHL. Kevin Souza, who work extensively with the Blades this year, and Kevin's on staff with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So we're really pleased that we have professional and amateur photographers alike working in concert to promote the OJHL. We're really happy about that.
And you guys are having a crazy playoff time, aren't you? So you're all over the place filming. You live in Bowmanville.
I do.
And you're luckily for you, you're in Coberg just a couple nights ago, which makes it rather easy on you. It's when you have to go to Oakville and stuff, it becomes a lot more difficult. We got 20 seconds. I just want to point out again that OJHLimages.photoshelter.com, the website is on there, is where you can go to see all the fantastic images. Thank you.
Thank you
for being here, and we're going to do this again next year, and I'll see you out over the next couple days at the rinks for sure. So
thanks very much,
thanks,
Alex.
Timmy.
Thanks.
And that is going to wrap it up for this week, going out on a high here. The conference finals continuing this weekend, of course, so just remember, for all the up-to-date playoff information, head to ojhl.ca. On Twitter, OJHL, at OJHL official, pardon me. At Facebook, at facebook.com/OJHL official. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week.